What's going on, everybody? My name is DJ Mel.
This is DJ Honeycomb.
And you're listening to The Sound of First, coming to you from the beautiful podcast studio here at Waterloo Records. If you didn't know, today all the podcasts have been released. Oh. So today is kind of like, a new release day.
It is.
Right?
It's finally here. I can't believe it.
I know. You can listen to The Sound of First podcasts on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow and subscribe, yo.
Yeah.
Right?
I've already listened to them.
You have?
This morning.
I'm kind of scared to listen to them because, folks, when you watch the first two episodes, just like with anything else, the first few podcasts, we've never done this before, so it's going to be raw. You know what I mean? So don't sit there with a magnifying glass or, rewind and fast forward and rewind again and listen to every breath and word that we say because we're still learning,
Yeah. I mean, the first one, my mic kept falling. So I was holding it up and it kept falling, holding it up. And I'm like, man, this is
I totally
terrible.
Forgot.
Yeah. I mean, we're working out kinks, learning curves. I mean, we're pretty much just dropped from the sky and into this podcast room. We're like, go.
Yeah, we were totally thrown into the deep end. So yeah, it is February 13th. We started recording in November.
November 25. 1925. No.
Well, we didn't have electricity, goddammit. But I had a weird dream was it yesterday or the night? Anyways, the night before last, I had the weirdest dream. Okay. And so it was a DJing dream. I don't know if you ever get those.
Yeah, it's usually I'm in the weeds and I don't have my equipment and I'm panicking and I'm like, this is not real. Why? What's happening here? But go for it.
Yeah.
What happened to you?
Man, I woke up in the weirdest mood. I was just like, man. Anyways, the dream was about me playing in Vegas. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I was playing in a trailer that was overlooking this parking lot. Okay. Kind of like drive-in style. You know what I mean? Like a drive-in movie style where all the cars are. It was kind of like peak pandemic type shit where everyone how everyone's kind of raving in their cars at a parking lot where they would sit in their cars and there would be some DJs out on a stage and everyone's just kind of vibing out in their cars and shit. It was kind of like that.
Okay.
But this was at night. And so I started playing and then I told the guy that was in the trailer with me, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I got to go. Okay. I'll be back in 5 minutes, right? Or less than that. I get back and I start playing and I look at my computer and I had this is back, we're talking about Windows, XP or something like that, Microsoft XP or whatever. Those days when you would get a virus, right? And there would be all these pop-ups and you had no control over your computer. And I was tripping. I'm trying to look up songs or whatever. And I couldn't. And, the whole parking lot was packed. And then I just couldn't control anything. I couldn't load up a song. And I'm like, hey guys, don't worry about it. I'm about to switch it up. I'm about to play some hip hop, man. Let's go. And then I just couldn't control my computer. And the song ended. And then everyone started leaving. You could see all these cars driving away. Mm-hmm. And I was just standing there like, fuck. You know what I mean? It was just the worst dream ever.
I'm glad that DJ dreams seem to be similar so far. Because it never goes well.
It never goes well. Yeah.
You're like, you look at your clock and your watch in a dream and you're like, oh my God, I think I'm supposed to be at the gig right now. And it's a lot of anxiety. It's almost like when I was a waiter and I would dream about being in the weeds the whole time. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, fascinating. Have you ever woken up with a song in your head or from a nap, either from the morning, from sleeping all night to and it's just it is in your head, completely amplified. I mean, I've had a Simply Red song in my head for the past 4 days. And I went through the whole discography and I couldn't find the song. I'm like, is this even Simply Red? And I feel like it is. So I need to play detective and find out. But I'm like, why Simply Red? That's not something. I'm just like, wow, where did that come from?
I've had songs that, there have been many times when I've gotten up in the morning and a song immediately comes to mind because I was listening to that song over and over again the night before. Oh. Right?
Sure, of course. Yeah.
The last time it happened, and this is, something I not really like my style of music. I mean, which I'm open to anything musically. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
anyways, I was listening to a lot of Olivia Dean, the few weeks ago, and listening to it like all night. And then I wake up, I go to bed, I wake up, and Olivia Dean is like in just kind of on rotation or on repeat in my brain. You know what I mean? And like I said, I think it was with Catherine Styles when we had her here. I think they lace crack in her music because like her music is like addictive, and so, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners, if anyone's actually listening to this, can agree.
Hello, hello,
Right?
hello.
And if you haven't, you have homework. Listen to Olivia Dean. It's like crack. You know what I mean? It's like a fetty addiction. You know what I mean? You're just you'll be hooked.
I mean, I remember in elementary school, the song that was always in my head was Rockin' Robin.
Oh, dude, that is so funny you said
Because
that.
that whistling part was torturing me as a child. And I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
So,
So my brain is like trying to find a loop the whole
Right.
time.
so I could say this now because we're like 10 years removed. Okay. It's funny that you mentioned Rockin' Robin because I was literally thinking about this morning, which is wild. Anyways, about what is this, 2016, right? I mean, not 2016, 2026. So 16 years ago. I used to, for close to a decade, I was part of the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas.
yeah.
Their booking team. I used to book talent for that property for close to 10 years, and I booked all the the DJ talent for that property. And so at the very beginning, we were just booking all sorts of DJs, kind of like a trial and error thing, to see who worked or whatever, and who didn't work. But as a favor to one of our clients or folks that we worked with, her name is Marcia Vlasic, and she was, I'm sure she's still the manager of the Strokes or whatever. But anyways, or the agent, and her son used to, or her son at the time, and I'm sure he still does, DJs.
Okay.
Okay. So we brought, like, as a favor to Marcia, we brought in Franco. Franco V is his name. And so I booked him, and like when I would book a DJ at the Cosmo, they were there for the weekend. You know what I mean? They played Friday, Saturday, and they would fly out on Sunday.
Okay.
Anyways, he would play Rockin' Robin, and then I would hear about it on our meet, like on our booking call on Monday, and they were like, "What the hell is up with this guy playing Rockin' Robin?" Everyone in the club hates him. Okay. And yeah, the staff hates him,
my
and
God.
everyone's complaining about him. And I'm like, and my boss, who shall remain unnamed here, was like, "Hey, we could tell him to switch it up next time or whatever. But, just so you know that this is the son of, Marcia Vlasic, the, I think either agent or manager of the Strokes at the time." And so, but anyways, I just never heard, I just never heard the end of it. Like the staff was like, "Dude, never bring this guy back in because he always plays that song." And it was because there's multiple versions of it. Okay.
Yeah.
There's the Michael Jackson version, and then there's another version I totally forgot. And that other version my parents used to listen to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, it's just funny that you bring up Rockin' Robin because yeah, it is a fun song. I think if you're a kid, you're just like, "Oh my God, this is such a fun song." But if you're an adult and you listen to it over and over again, it's just like, okay, you know what? Like maybe after the third time, you're like, okay, I want to choke somebody.
Yeah, the whistling is torture, and I think in the right context you can drop it into a DJ set. But if you are in a certain place for the whole weekend, maybe only play it once. Like make each night different, you know. And that there's like almost a sonar, like it cracks your eardrums with the Jackson 5 Rockin' Robin whistling part.
There's the
like,
whistling,
oh, God.
and the song ends because it ends with a whistle. So it's kind of hard to mix out of. You just have to drop the next track in after the whistle.
What would be the next track? Can you think of a track that?
I don't know.
What is that BPM? 115?
It's like No, it like I think double timed it's like probably like 140 or whatever, and then you like double
70.
it's like 70, but if you double timed it, it's like 140, maybe 140ish. I can't remember. I haven't played it in so long. You know what I mean?
Do the go-go's. We got the beat.
I would play something obnoxious after that. I would play like something off. I would
You're
play
like, why am I even here with
I'd
Rockin'
play,
Robin?
I'd play like a cut off a Two Live Cruise like is what we are. Remember that record, Bobby? They were like
too short.
Yeah.
Love the
Yeah.
whistle.
Halftime.
I just oh dude, that's a great idea.
Do a bunch
Yeah.
of whistling
Yeah.
compilations in like a set. Oh, that would probably drive people. They would probably love
What was
it,
that?
or they hate it.
What was the big hipster song? I totally forgot. The song's called Young Folks, right? Where it was like a big hipster song that was big during the beauty bar days, where the guy's like,
Yes. Yeah.
my whistling's terrible, but
That's pretty good though.
is it Bjorn something and something? I forgot.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
My
about.
memory's bad, but
Yep. Yeah.
anyways, I digress, and we need to talk about something else because we could go on and on about whistling,
Splitting hairs on whistling.
and Robert and Rockin' Robin and all that kind of stuff. So let's segue to this week's guest. This week's guest is a dear friend of mine, fantastic graphic designer, hip hop head, right, and longtime Austin resident and UT alum and probably one of the biggest UT women's basketball stands on the planet, Bobby Dixon.
Hey. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, and shout out to the women's team.
I
It's
know.
so fun watching them play.
Yeah.
So fun watching you, DJ, there.
No, I appreciate it, man. I mean, I really enjoy it. I mean, maybe I'll probably get in trouble for saying this or whatever, but I no longer play for the men's team, right? So, which is whatever. And I had to play, I had to cover for the guy who replaced me at men's, and just recently because of the recent storms or whatever, because I guess he lives out of town or something. But anyways, I played the men's game. It was fine, right?
Yeah.
But the vibe, I don't know. I just thought the vibe was a little different, right?
Sure.
Maybe it's male energy, right, versus female energy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just different. But I really just enjoy the energy at the women's games. You know what I mean? I really do.
The last two home games, like I just watched them on TV, and I could just feel the energy from the other side. Like, I don't know if you were there in person. You were there in person, obviously.
Yeah, Bobby's at pretty much all
Yeah,
the
we
home
have
games.
season tickets. Like me and
Yeah.
a bunch of homies, we pretty much have a row.
Yeah, you
Nice.
guys. Yeah, you
Tickets,
guys.
that's
the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, those last two games, or maybe the last three games, people were just almost on their feet the whole time, like toward the last part of the game. It's in quarters, right? Yeah, it's in quarters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the energy's different now. You know what I mean? The team is doing really well, and they have been the past few seasons. And so I think a lot of people are kind of like getting tapped in now and kind of know, okay, whoa, look at the women's team. They're really doing well, right? And so I think of course, regardless of what sport it is, right? People are going to kind of like attach themselves to like a winning program, or if something like a team's doing really well, let's go, let's go see them, or, let's go check them out, when you and I definitely remember the dark days, right? Where, maybe they weren't doing as well or whatever. I mean, even for football, you know what I mean? Like the same thing, which is wild to me because like I say this over and over again to my friends, and I probably have said it on this podcast several times where, the dark days of football, like post Mac Brown with Chuck Strong and Tom Herman, and the team wasn't doing so hot, and I just find what's happening now to be great, right? I mean, like, dude, they're doing well, right? And it's just really foreign to me, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, it's just interesting to see them like killing it in quotes, right? Compared to the struggle years,
sure.
So
Yeah, goes in waves. Seems to be. And how long have you been watching the girls in
forever,
a row?
right?
Yeah, forever. But it was just recently that we got season tickets because a bunch of our friends that we also play basketball with, we're just like, why don't we just get season tickets? Because I had gotten Austin Spurs season tickets
Yeah.
since even before the pandemic.
Yeah.
and that was fun.
Yeah.
It's I mean, definitely more of an empty stadium vibe with them.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we have two-way players from San Antonio playing on the team.
Yeah.
And plus, it's like, let's be real, it's out in Cedar Park.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
having
Yeah,
to drive
yeah.
out there for a 6:30 game
Yeah,
on
it's-
Wednesday night, that's
Yeah.
tough. It got tough, and I was like, I'm spending less money supporting the Texas women's team for a whole season,
Yeah.
and it's 5 miles from my house.
Yeah, yeah, and you're in this brand new.
And they're constantly ranked top 10.
Yeah,
It was like, it makes sense to just go.
right.
Yeah. Did you go in the Frank Irwin days or just Moody Center? Did you
I
start
would
this
go to like
routine?
single games,
Yeah.
men's and women's, back in the Frank Irwin days for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But like back when we were in college, we had like Reggie Freeman, we had Terrence Rencher back then.
Yeah.
Like the men's teams were hyped back then.
Right.
And then of course when we had KD, TJ Ford.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that photo of TJ Ford? Like I think maybe this was his rookie year, like his rookie card or whatever, and like his shorts.
Almost to his ankles. Yeah.
Like
wow.
when everyone's wearing those baggy, long ass like basketball shorts. Like that's crazy. Because now like what they're wearing now is like Daisy Dukes compared to what they were rocking back then, right?
Were those the FUBU days?
Around
Yeah,
that time.
it was probably around that same
Tall
time.
tea times and shit. Yeah.
And
right.
everything was like dazzle cloth, so everything was kind of shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who drafted? Was it the Bucks? I think it was
I
the
think
Bucks.
it was. Was it the Bucks
Because wasn't it like a purple and green?
or was it
Fit.
Bucks Kings? Like
Maybe.
was it Sacramento? I can't. remember.
I kind of remember purple for some reason.
I
So,
do
yeah.
remember I mean, feel free to hop on your phone. I mean, we're not one of those podcasts where you got to turn your phone off. No, you could look it up. Yeah.
I just remember cross colors and FUBU were really big in the early 90s. And I was going to school in South Carolina and I saw it everywhere. And I just remember like the basketball, I guess, what would you call it? It's not an outfit. Like they're what would you call the athlete clothes when
Just
they're
the
playing game?
uniform, yeah.
Uniform. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely had an evolution of like lengths.
Yeah. I mean,
In
around
the
the
70s, they were really short too.
yeah, I mean, like back, Kareem days, and you saw like the Celtics with Larry Bird, and what is it? Was it Dennis Johnson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who actually coached for the Spurs, right? At the time, he's no longer with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you saw, all those guys from the Celtic teams, like basically wearing panties, their shit was short, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
But it's wild, like the real, like the kind of like the tall tee, or not even the tall tees, but those shorts that TJ was rocking. Just the stuff they were doing in those shorts, like doing crossovers, between the legs.
Like how do you do
Yeah, how do
between
you
the
do
legs?
that? How do you do that? How do you do that?
Maybe they're that silky.
I mean, like I
They
don't know.
were very shiny and slippery.
I don't know if AI.
I think dazzle cloth was the perfect descriptor for that material.
I don't know if did he rock that kind of stuff too? Like I can't remember.
yeah.
Yeah. So like him doing all that crossover, just crossing over people and just between the legs, all that kind of stuff, all that footwork type stuff. I'm like, how did you do that, right? So the one thing that Bobby and I have in common, we're Filipino, right? And
Filipino power.
yeah. So I was thinking about this earlier today, before we started recording, like just Filipino artists. Okay, and musicians or celebrities or whatever. And I started thinking, okay, Bruno Mars is part Filipino. I think Olivia Rodrigo is part Filipino. Of course, the Invisible Scratch Pickles, which is a famous DJ crew out of San Francisco. They're Filipino.
Jets.
And Sweetie part.
Yes, yeah,
She is.
yeah.
I gotta say my favorite though is her.
Sweetie.
No, it's her.
Oh,
H-E-R,
her. Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, my cousins, like, I mean, we're Filipino. I'm sure you've got family out in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
Oh,
I do.
yeah.
I do.
Some of them live out in Vallejo and actually went to school with her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
and always knew like how talented she was, and
Wow.
just to see her blow up has
Yeah.
been amazing.
God,
Yeah.
there was someone else that's. Oh, Madlib is half Filipino, right? So, I mean, there's many more we're probably leaving out or whatever, but I just, a lot of people don't know that I am, and I'm proud to be Filipino, right? So, anyways, I think regardless of what Filipinos get into, whether it's music or DJing or basketball or playing pool, like they're just
Or nursing.
yeah, that too.
Or karaoke.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, the lead singer of Journey, what's his name? Arnel Pineda. He's the lead singer of Journey now and has been for many, many years now, is Filipino. So regardless of what, Filipinos get into, they get into it and they do it extremely well. Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
I kind of wish he would stop boxing, don't you? Like, I'm just like, dude, like, I love you, man. And I'm the biggest Manny Pacquiao fan. And when he was at his peak, when he was fighting Ricky Hatton or whoever, man, I was just all about it. But now I'm like, dude, he just doesn't want to stop.
There's just really nothing left to prove for him except that I can still fight at this age.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
He's got to be 45 now, 40
Yeah.
something.
Is that
Easily.
still doable in boxing world?
I mean, he just fought a year or two ago.
Yeah, I mean, what he's kind of doing now. I mean, he still fights at elite level. He's nothing like when he prime Manny Pacquiao,
Sure.
but I mean, a lot of boxers. I mean, look at Mike Tyson. I mean, he's basically a corpse, right? I mean, he's like out there fighting. You know what I mean? And I mean, he's not. I'm exaggerating. I mean, he's way beyond. He's way beyond his prime. And you saw the age when he fought. What was it? Logan Paul or Jake Paul? He fought
One of them, yeah.
one of the Paul brothers. You saw, okay, he's not as agile.
Yeah.
He's definitely not like 1986 Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? That dude was scary. But yeah, just Filipinos in general. Whatever, regardless of what they get into, they excel at it.
Do y'all know if there's any Filipinos in the Winter Olympics right now?
There are two.
Tell me more.
And it seems like there are always two.
Okay.
And I think that seems like a pretty high estimate for the Filipinos for
I agree.
by two.
Yeah. What is it? Are they?
I think they're skiers.
Oh, okay, I was
skiers.
gonna say, are they?
I think they're downhill skiers. It's a man and a woman.
Okay.
And it's really cool to see them representing, and
Yeah.
they walk out during the opening ceremonies. It's just the two of them,
Wow.
but it's just so surreal. Like I mean, the Philippines doesn't, as a country, they're not throwing all this money at athletes,
Yeah, sure.
Right.
except maybe the Filipino national basketball team, and now the
really?
soccer team,
Yeah.
the women's soccer team specifically is
Okay.
killing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So hopefully they make the next Summer Olympics if
Yeah.
soccer is still part of the Olympics. But yeah, it's like you expect to see more Filipinos in the summer one, but I was like winter, like
I know.
where are they training?
I know. Like when you brought that up, I was thinking. I immediately thought, okay, figure skating. It's indoors. You could easily build an ice rink. In a building somewhere in the Philippines.
I hear a lot of the international folks train it here in the States and then represent their countries when it's time to go.
That makes sense.
And the Philippines does allow like dual citizenship
That's right.
athletes. So
That's right.
Yeah.
I figured Filipino calves, they'd be speed skaters or something like that.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Did you say the
No.
calves?
The
Like
calves,
the body?
Filipino calves.
Yeah, dude. Someone who has calves, not to go back, but Manny Pacquiao. That's why he could punch so hard is because of like his legs.
Jeez.
His base.
His calves look like hams.
Yeah.
I'm serious, yo. I mean, seriously, it's
You
crazy.
can never buy boots.
That's your homework, guys. That's add that to your list of homework. Go online and watch Manny
And
Pacquiao.
Manny's also a hooper too.
Yeah,
Is
Yeah.
he?
Yeah. He's decent.
and he thinks he's
Wow.
a singer too. He thinks he's
That's
everything,
right.
dog.
His singing career. I
You know what
remember that.
Like, yeah. My man thinks he can do everything. But Bobby and I go way back, and I think even though we didn't know each other, we were in the same room at the same time, and we didn't know it like until decades later.
Not just the same room, but the same room in different cities,
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
which is wild
yeah.
to me.
Wow.
So okay, so and I brought this up. We brought this up with Nick Knack, and a few weeks ago. You know, back in the day, like probably in the early '90s or whatever, I used to work for multiple record labels, and so what I did with those record labels, you know, whether it was Delicious Vinyl or Immortal Records, or just I dealt with a handful of record labels, but you know, my job was to, you know, service, you know, mix show DJs and retail and just lifestyle spots and, you know, and clubs and whatever, just with club DJs with music, right? Product to promote whatever record, you know, whatever Delicious Vinyl was promoting, whatever Immortal was promoting. And so my region was Texas. Okay. Texas is a big enough state. And it was Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin. Okay. And back then in Dallas, all the major labels or distributors, Universal, Sony, they all had offices in Dallas. They no longer have a presence in Dallas now. And so back then I would have to go to Dallas a lot. So I would go to all these record stores like Bill's and you know, all the radio stations like KNON, right? With
KNON,
Easy,
yeah.
with DJ Easy Eddie D, who's still doing it. This guy has been on the air since 1987 promoting hip hop, and he's just the biggest ride or die hip hop mix show DJ ever.
Wow.
He's been on the air.
Would you say KNON is probably like the equivalent of KZI here?
Yeah,
but probably a little bigger.
A little
And
bigger,
of course,
right?
because it's Dallas. But
Yeah.
but
Cool.
yeah, and I used to talk to Eddie all the time, and that's how I met Baby G, is through my record label work, right? And so we were talking on the phone or something like that. You know, I'm like, hey, dude, you know, I really want to get this Far Side record in your hands, this, that, and the other. I'm going to be up in Dallas, and I'm going to go to like all these record stores up in Dallas, and I'm going to stop by the radio stations and deal with the folks over there. And he's like, hey, dude, I'm hosting, or I've put together this DJ battle. What's that, Dread and Irie, right?
I think so.
It
was Deep Ellum.
Yeah, it was in Deep Ellum.
That's all I remember from
Yeah,
back then.
yeah. It was so it was vague. And like for me, it's vague. I think it was Dread and Irie. And I'm hosting this DJ battle. So how about this? How about, you know, you be a judge, right? And just judge this DJ battle. That would be a good opportunity for you to, like, yeah, you know, give me some of the music that you want pushed, right, or played. You could hook up the DJs that are in the battle, and then whatever else you have to promote these artists, you could just hand out to the crowd, right? So go to Dallas, do this battle, you know, and like, you know, Dell won the battle, right? We talked about that with Nick, and I was throwing all these, like, you know, stickers.
Was Nick there too?
No, but
Okay,
I mentioned it to Nick about that battle, and I was throwing cassettes and stickers or whatever. I forgot what band or act I was working on at the time. And while I was throwing stuff, I took a photo, right? Because I had to take photos of all the things that I did so I could send it back to Los Angeles. Like, hey, okay,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, you're paying me to do this. Here's proof that I'm actually working, right? This is
a film camera.
a
mind
film camera. There was no internet. There's no social media. I'm not I'm not emailing attachments or whatever. No, this was like I was taking actual photos with film, right? And so I had those photos developed and sent those photos to LA, just to show them, hey, I was at Bill's and here's what I did, and here's Bill holding this record, and here's Baby G holding this 12-inch. He's going to play it. Here's the, whatever. Okay. And so many years later, I'm going through the photos, because I still have all those photos because I always printed doubles. I'm just thumbing through these photos of the DJ battle. And then I'm looking closely at one and I'm like, holy shit. Bobby and Bavu is in the background of one of these photos.
Nice.
This was like 93, 94, right?
Did you know who they
It
were?
had to.
No,
been.
I didn't know them.
So
Then.
Then.
Oh, got it. Got it.
This was like maybe I don't know how long ago I noticed that photo. It was like 4 or 5 years ago or something like that. Maybe if not longer. And there's young Bobby and fresh-faced Bavu Blakes in the background. Who would have thought? You know what I mean?
Babies.
Just have a good time in the crowd.
Yeah. And then, years later, Bobby is designing a lot of stuff for my events.
Oh.
Yeah. And, he designed the early T-shirt. Do you have one of those? Dude, that's what I should have done. I should have brought it.
But I want one.
I'll give you one tomorrow. You coming out tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I will.
The pizza shirt.
Yeah, the pizza shirt.
One of my favorite
Yeah.
designs for sure.
So
Nice.
throughout the years, Bobby has done a lot of design work for myself and many other places. He actually, when he walked in here today, he was like kind of in awe of the new store. He's looking around like, wow, this is
Yeah.
cool. And then he was looking at the stuff behind the front counter, and there's like all the tote bags displayed, right?
Yeah.
And he noticed that he had that one of his designs is on one of the tote bags, which is crazy.
Yeah,
And
from
you
like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm pretty sure it was a shirt first, and then
yeah.
they expanded it to the
Yeah.
tote bag, but it could have been both at the same time.
Yeah, my favorite Waterloo shirt is that logo, that design you created. It's a great T-shirt, black print. That's
Nice.
dope.
Yeah, that was
Nice.
the original design.
Yeah.
Was the black script, custom script on a gray, like a heather gray
Yep.
shirt. It was
Nice.
really nice.
Yeah, Heather Gray is always a winner in my book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Nice.
So it was kind of like this full circle kind of thing again. That seems to be a common theme here.
Yeah.
Bobby walking in and noticing that, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in forever, too.
Yeah. What's wild is that, we had Catherine Styles here, like, maybe a month ago?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
something
shout
like
out
that.
to Style Switch.
So he did design work for Catherine Styles or Style Switch Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
With the pig in the middle.
That was their original logo, so I did not do that. But a lot of their koozies, apparel, bandanas, patches.
I think we got the beanies from her. That might have been you too. Okay. And you choose font. You do it all.
Yeah, and Catherine's been great to work with. She's got a great eye for design herself,
Yeah.
and she kind of already has an idea in mind. And then what I'll do is I'll throw like 3 renditions based off of her idea.
Yeah.
And man, it's worked out great. And
Yeah,
they're
it's
selling
solid.
a ton of merch.
Yeah, they
man,
are.
We were talking about how I think a lot of people underestimate the power of merch.
Yes.
We don't think twice about it, but then when you really look at like the numbers of merch and just in general, you're like, what? Yeah, it's pretty outrageous. In a great way.
Yeah, I need to harness the power of merch. I think what keeps me from selling more merch is just the handling of it.
Yeah.
How I'm like the fulfillment of it. I don't know if I even actually have I hate using the word bandwidth. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to handle all that, where like I'm, looking for all these, like checking out all the orders online, putting them in boxes, having to go to like the post office or whatever. I don't know if I have that kind of energy, especially if it starts like going crazy. And I don't know if it would.
I mean, I think it would probably be good, I guess passive income, if you will. But I mean, I think the hardest part for me would be to choose the fabric that you trust is going to represent your idea of quality.
Right. Yeah. And like,
And price point.
Yeah.
yeah. And Bobby and I talk about that, especially with the early shirt. I mean, he told me like, okay, we're going to print it on this shirt. Like, I'm sure you're
That's
familiar
great
with
guidance.
this, with this brand or whatever, and what have you. And I trust him. You know what I mean? It's not gonna. I know.
And
it's not,
it comes down. It's still fashion.
Yes,
so it's
it is.
cyclical, and things come in style, go out of style, come back in style. Like everything's trending baggy now, and we're going back to the heavier weight cottons and the thicker cottons. Where just a few years ago it was like it was the thinnest T-shirt you could
That's
ever
right.
think of.
Yep.
And the sleeves were shorter, the body was tighter, and those are all going to come back again probably in 6-7 years.
Do you
right?
think it's a 7-year rotation, 6-year rotation? Like, what's been
It,
your
it
like
averages?
forecasting?
Yeah, it
Okay.
kind of averages that way.
Fascinating.
Like usually year 5 is when you start to see like the current trend like just hit its peak.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like you're gonna see, you know, it's like once you saw soccer moms wearing shell toes,
Yeah.
like shell toes just died, and that was like right at year 5.
Right. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I've noticed the oversized thing, and I think it looks great, right? But I'm short, right? I can't wear like large T-shirts and baggier T-shirts because I don't want to look like a Pac-Man ghost. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Or TJ Ford.
Yeah, or TJ Ford. Like I never got down with the tall T shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to look like what are the name of the
Oh,
Pac-Man
my
ghosts?
God.
Like Pinky Blinky or some shit.
Oh,
Like I
yeah.
don't want to look like that. You know what I mean? I want to look. Like I want to. That's why I wear things that are my size, right?
Yeah.
And I've ordered T-shirts online where like, oh, they have a small. Oh my God, Marvin Gaye's on this shirt. You know what I mean? And I order it, and then I get it back to my house, and I'm like, God damn, this thing is big for a small,
For a
right?
small. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, and I'm just like kind of bummed out. And thank God, I have found, a woman that will tailor my clothes.
Great.
Important.
Taylor's
So
valuable.
even a
person to
t-shirt.
have. Yes. Yes.
Even a T-shirt.
Wow.
Yeah, she does amazing work. Shout out to Quid So Pro. Is it Quid So Pro or Quid Pro So? I can't remember. Quid So Pro.
Regardless, clever name.
Yeah.
The tongue twister.
Melissa's the dude. She's the shit, dude. I'm a short guy, so like I can't just go walk into like a clothing store, go and buy some jeans, and it's the right length.
Yeah. Well, I know. My dad was 6'5" and he had problems. And so I get the discrepancy of, heights. But in general, I think it's a great idea to have a tailor. Find somebody.
I love her, which reminds me, I need to go. She altered a T-shirt for me, which was too long.
Yeah, of course.
Pac-Man ghost. Don't want to look like that shit. You know what I mean? I get it. Like, it's just weird. Like, okay, if you're like, okay, you see some, like slim thug who's tall, right? And if he's rocking a tall tee, that looks cool. But if like someone my height, you know what I mean? Like, it's just dumb. It's just dumb, dude. It's like,
This is like highly editorial for some off type magazine and you're posed in a certain way and it's like art. You could have everything oversized, but that's not practical day to day.
Yeah.
Showing up to your events. I get it.
I know that everything is subjective and, rock what you want to rock and like what you want to like. But for me, I just can't rock like a big ass T-shirt. It looks funny on me.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm already at a disadvantage. You know what I mean? Like, like ladies, you know what I mean? I'm sure, like, I'm wearing gear that fits me and I'm already having trouble, right? Imagine if I was wearing like oversized stuff, you know what I mean? And looking like chingy, you know what I mean? And you think a serious grown ass woman's gonna go, look at that dude. Look at Mel. Man, I'm into that. He's wearing a fucking triple XL fucking Hawks jersey. You know what I mean? Like,
you never know,
They ain't
Mel.
gonna be into that shit. Come on,
There
man.
might be somebody.
No,
who's
man.
like, what?
Somebody may have a Pac-Man fetish. You never
Yeah,
know.
I know.
Yeah, right, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, he looks like Blinky. Oh shit.
He looks like the bonus cherry.
I know. That's my guy. Love
Bonus
at first
cherry.
sight. What are the odds of that? But anyways, I digress. So this show's about firsts, right? So Bobby, you grew up like in what is it, Richardson? And
Garland, yeah.
Okay, isn't that next door to Richardson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the beat up brother of Richardson and
Yeah.
Plano, basically.
Yeah, I've spent some time in Richardson recently. I have a friend that lives up in Richardson, and it's an interesting place, right? What I did notice about Richardson was you never have to leave Richardson. Everything's there.
What's the population in Richardson?
I don't know. It's like a suburb of Dallas. I don't know.
Oh,
It's very suburbia. Like,
Yeah. So
like Mel was
there's
saying, you do not have to leave.
You don't have to leave because everything is there. You don't have to drive into Dallas. Like for some folks that live in Richardson, you tell them, hey, you know what? Meet me downtown. They're like, what? You know what I mean? It's like you're asking them to go to like Egypt or some shit. You know what I mean? Like that's how far they think downtown Dallas is, right?
okay.
But everything's there. I mean, where my homegirl lives in Richardson, right down the street was everything you could ever possibly want, right? I mean, there was a ramen shop, there's a Chick-fil-A, the Target's there, just like the urgent care ER's there. Just everything is just within minutes of where she lived. Like you don't ever have to leave.
I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, I don't know, like general offerings that a human being might need and want.
Right, yeah. I
Got
mean,
it.
granted, she was only living there at the time because of the pandemic. And so she no longer lives there. She lives even farther out now, which is even wilder. But at the time, like, I mean, yeah, if you're like her parents, I mean, they're older. I mean, that's just perfect for them. You know what I mean?
Of course.
They don't need to, that's why my parents love Colleen. It's like, I mean, everything they need, hospital, grocery store, whatever, is within 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so you lived in Garland, and when you were in Garland, where did you shop for records?
We went to Bill's
Yeah.
Record and Tapes. I mean,
Yeah.
Bavu and I grew up 2 blocks away from each other.
Wow.
And then once we all started driving, like back then, mall culture was still a thing.
Yeah, man.
Malls were huge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we would, after school, like we wouldn't go home. We would go to Richardson Square Mall. We would go to the Galleria, Prestonwood when Prestonwood was around, Valley View.
Right.
We would even
Valley
go
View
to
Mall. Oh,
what was the big one out in Mesquite? We would go to that mall too. And so we would hit up Camelot.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a Hastings, but we
I'm
would
sure
go
there
we would go shopping there a lot. But when you wanted something specific, it was always Bill's.
Bills, yeah, man.
And it was always the most surreal experience going in there and buying stuff because like you never knew how much or how little or you were going to pay for something. It was up to Bill.
Yeah, we've talked about that many times on this
What
podcast.
a
Like,
character.
if he thought you looked cute that day, you got a nice little discount. You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah, man.
But also Bill's like along with the hip hop culture, we would go clubbing out in Dallas, and it would be probably like your night would be 40% hip hop and 60% house and techno and electronic and maybe some industrial, right? So you got used to that club culture and you started digging the music, and Bill's was like one of the few places that was actually stocking that music.
Wow.
Because you couldn't go to Richardson Square
Yeah.
Mall and buy house music at Camelot at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dallas had a huge house music scene. I know that house music is a very popular thing now. It's basically a mainstream thing now. But back then in the 90s, I mean, just rave culture and just, electronic music and house music was huge with Kelly Reverb and Rob Vaughn and, all the, especially Rob Vaughn. And then, God, what's his name? What is it? Is it, God, I forgot his name. But anyways, it was just huge. The Hazy Days crew with DJ Clay and all that kind of stuff. Like, house music was a big thing in Dallas, right? And then along was the hip hop scene. You had DJ Baby G, you had Del Furious, and you had Eddie D. You name them. You know what I mean? I mean, I went to those events, pushing all the record label stuff that I was pushing at the time, and I mean, you were there. Like it was way more different than the scene in Austin at the time.
Right.
Way
And you also
more
think
different.
about too, besides the club culture, and these were like all ages clubs, so
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah.
But you think about those days back then. If you were a hip hop head, almost every single artist you listened to had one house song on their album.
Jungle Brothers,
Jungle
yeah.
Brothers,
Moni-
Queen Latifah,
Moni Love.
yeah, and
Right.
so it was like it was almost like if the groups you like were like New York based or Chicago, those two specifically, maybe Detroit. There weren't really many Detroit rappers out at that time. But it's like their record labels told them, look, you have to have one house banger because that's what's going to get played in these clubs.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Moni in the middle. Remember that song?
Yeah.
The middle, the middle, the middle. Yeah, that
Nice.
that was the heat. The only guy from Chicago that didn't go down that route was Common.
Yeah.
He never put out a house banger. You know what I mean?
Hey, he didn't have to.
Yeah.
But it's like starting at Common and going forward. So let's say it's like more late 90s, like just past the golden era.
Right.
Right. That house music track stopped for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The hip hop guys weren't touching that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, what was going on during the late '90s with hip hop? Because that's,
I mean,
it was
that
kind of like it was switching over into the aughts, which was like really popular, poppy pop.
It very much went pop. I mean, the first thing I think about is Nelly.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like-
yeah.
and
I
it's
mean,
Like sneakerheads, like Mel, you're a sneakerhead as well as I am. Like you always wore Air Force Ones and Dunks and Jordans, like, and then Nike started reissuing them around that time. That was the first time they started retroing sneakers, and sneakerheads were all about it. But then Nelly gets all the credit because he put out a song
about Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that, to his credit, like I'm sure that did rise the popularity of the Air Force One for sure.
Yeah.
But I remember like you would go out into like if your mom wanted to go vintage shopping out in some country city between Houston and Dallas, you weren't looking for anything but if they had like vintage sneakers there, like dead stock sneakers, like you were looking, you had to search. And again, this is like before the internet was popping off
Yeah,
and everything.
man.
It's like you had to actually go to these stores and
Yeah.
see if they still had these sneakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was definitely a time, right? I remember talking to a vintage clothing dude in. Did I bump into him here, or maybe I was in New York at the time? But I was asking this guy from New York, was like, so where do you acquire all this gear? And which was cool, and he actually shared the information because. A lot of these, especially now, because it's so highly competitive, all these vintage stores people and all these resale flipper dudes, and they're not going to share their sources, right? But at the time, he was telling me, and this was like in the 90s, right? So he would just leave New York in a van, and he would just go to like the Midwest and go to all these podunk ass towns and go to thrift stores and Goodwills. And this is when thrift store, vintage clothing culture, and because now it's crazy, because everyone's flipping everything, and everything's outrageous now. But at the time, it wasn't even like that. So he would just go to like all the like Missouri and Kansas and Ohio, and he would just spend like a month on the road, just not cleaning up, but just acquiring all this stuff to bring back to New York to sell at a store. So when you mentioned that, Bobby, that's what I immediately thought.
I mean, when you were growing up in close to Dallas, I guess, did you feel like music was first, or was it design?
Definitely music first.
Did that shape your
Because
design?
to me, like design wasn't even a thought in my head until I decided to go to college, and because I was a knucklehead growing up.
We all were, man.
Yeah, but
You know what
to,
I mean?
to
Yeah,
the point
yeah.
where it was like,
You're gonna go to jail soon, dog.
well, I
Yeah.
did, like, yeah.
Oh shit. Oh,
And
okay.
it was just like, it was one of those things, and what made me decide to like go to school and like pursue art and design was after one of these arrests, I had probation costs, court costs, lawyer fees, so I had to get a job.
Sure.
Right, and I worked at a Michaels store.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And had to help the framing department clean up one night and saw a Matisse poster. And it was so much different than every other poster that was in Michael's, right? Like flowers and lilies and like country barn and all this. And it was a Matisse cutout poster. It was the Icarus piece. I had so much, so I got it tattooed on myself.
Yeah.
But when I saw that fronting the posters, I asked the framing guy, I was like, what is this? And he broke it down for me. Just
wow.
a young framing guy. He couldn't have been more than like 10 years older than me at the time, but knew everything about art. And he broke that down, and he was like, I was like, wait, so like you can do this? Like go to school and learn art? He's like, yeah, you should look into it. So I did.
Wow.
And then me like sweating the fact that if I went to school for art and then graduated, how am I going to get a paycheck?
Right.
So
yeah.
So I was like, maybe I'll pivot to design first. And so that's what got me to go to the University of Texas and enter the design program. But ultimately I switched back to studio art because I was just having way more fun doing that.
Yeah.
But that everything before that point was all music driven. And even my design work is music driven.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, subconsciously, if those album covers that you were looking at growing up kind of were rooted down into your design kind of choices.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Like the first one that comes to mind is EPMD's first album and just their logo.
Yep.
And it wasn't until a few years later that one of the graffiti artists that I admired growing up, Hayes, was the one who designed that logo.
It. Yeah, yeah.
And like drew it. This was not like, all right, jump on Adobe Illustrator and choose a typeface and create outlines and adjust it. Like you can see his actual drawings of these logos. And then just the album covers themselves, like that NWA album where the camera's looking up at them.
Yeah.
Public Enemy's album covers were so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the visuals of hip hop specifically, and then eventually house music too, because they have their own look, was huge. But nothing was bigger to me than when was it Tipper Gore that got the parental advisory sticker put on everything, and I was like, you just fucked up. I was like, we're gonna embrace this now, and like we were under 18, you know, so like if we went to a Camelot Music and they didn't sell us the CD because of that, I mean, we stole it. You know?
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a great story. Yeah.
I mean, like you're not stopping me from getting 2 Live Crew because like after the football game, we're going to party at the parking lot and you have to have 2 Live Crew, right?
That's true.
It was that sticker that was probably like the first time like visually I saw like rebellion. Right?
Yeah, when you see that parental advisory sticker, that's not a deterrent.
Right.
That just makes you want, like as a kid, that makes you want it more.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's kind of like when you're a kid and you see a porno mag, right? And you can't buy it, right? You know, it's behind the counter. You're like, I can't buy this, but I got to figure out a way. You know
like
I mean?
what if they put broccoli in a black bag, right?
Yeah.
Just like, hey kid, you can't have this. You'd be like, no, I want some of this broccoli.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, when you were like consuming hip hop aside from the stuff you were stealing, right? You know, so you were probably listening to radio, right? Up in Dallas. And then also, did they have the box up in Dallas? Where remember that one?
The box was Houston.
No. What was what is not the radio station, but that service back in the day where you could call in, they would charge you or something like that. You could request a video. Was it video music box?
Yeah, that predated like MTV
or something like
or
that.
It predated Yo MTV Raps, not MTV.
Yeah, so like if you wanted to watch a Brand Nubian video or some shit, you know what I mean? You could like just dial the number and then press 1 for Brand Nubian or whatever, and then boom, it would be on your screen.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember catching that like on the off and on times that we had cable at the house.
Yeah.
Right, because that was always sporadic.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was like, oh, you got a B in algebra? the cable's canceled for 6 weeks. You're
Uh-oh.
like, damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Was it like that?
Let's roll back to being Filipino again.
Oh, dude, don't even.
So straight A's or nothing else.
You know your cousin's gonna be the top of her class, right? You can't bring
Dude,
B's.
Bobby, like I'm telling you right now, like as far as like all the kids in my family on either side, right? I'm probably like the least accomplished. They're like all my cousins are complete overachievers. You know what I mean?
Like academia type stuff, or
Yeah, they're just overachievers. You know what I mean? Like
I was gonna say in more of the traditional sense. Of
Yeah, yeah.
achievement.
doctor lawyer type situation.
yeah, you know, like for example, you know, all my
Because
cousins.
how many of your cousins have DJ'd for President Obama? You know,
No,
like,
well, yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
but still,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, I think that's cool or whatever, but you know, like my cousins, I like when I was a kid, I would spend the summers in California. The first half of the vacation was with my cousins in the Bay Area on my dad's side. My dad's side, they all live in San Jose and just that area. Mom's side, Los Angeles, right? San Diego, National City. That was the second half. But my dad's side, like my cousins I would hang out with, we were just all kids and stuff. You know what I mean? We were just, you know, swimming in the pool and going to amusement parks. And then we would go take trips to San Francisco and go to the Golden Gate Bridge and do all this stuff. You know, I spent like a lot of time when I was a kid with them. And then and then after a while, we just stopped going because, you know, we all grew up and everything. And then years later, you know, one of my cousins like, hey, my mom calls me. He's like, hey, you know, your cousin Vic is coming to Austin. You know, he is thinking about moving to Austin for this job. And I'm like, okay, cool. So he comes down, and I mean, I literally haven't seen this guy in 10 some odd years. And we meet up, and I'm like, okay, so what are you up to? And he's like, I'm like, well, I'm thinking about moving to Austin for this job, you know, transferring, or I forgot what it was, or something like that, or a promotion or whatever. But anyways, he was like an exec at IBM at the time.
Wow.
And then I was asking, okay, so what's up with Patty? Like our other, his sister, right? My other cousin. Oh yeah, your cousin Patty works for NASA. And I'm going like, what? Like, what is going on here? What are you doing, Mel? I work at Waterloo Records. I DJ like here and there.
What's
Yeah.
DJing? Oh well.
Yeah. I'll hook
that's
you up on some
question.
CDs, right? So yeah, you know, I mean, that's just part of the culture, right?
Right.
Just, you know, just excelling. Parents having like these insane expectations on what they want you to be, right?
I mean, did your parents ever say, we want you to be pre-med and we want you to go to
No,
this
which is
college?
wild, which is like really interesting because my parents were like, you need to, you know, we want you to become a nurse or a doctor, or this is not acceptable. You know what I mean? It was just interesting. I just remember my mom like saying like, maybe you should get a job on the military base, and you can get
Got it.
you can get benefits and
Yeah,
this, that, and the
benefits.
other, and you could save money. That's her thing. My mom's thing.
That sounds
save
like a
money,
mom. Yeah.
save money, you know, and make sure you eat, you know, and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Fortunately, like mine never pushed
Yeah.
like a career on me. Like I was very fortunate for that. But what they were strict on was like, if you have to do something, regardless if it's something you want to do or you have to do it the best you possibly can. Because I remember like I did well in school when I wasn't just being a fuck up, right?
Yeah.
And being a knucklehead, and to the point where like I took calculus as an elective. And that was like dumb, right? Because by then it was my senior year and I knew I'm going to college for art. I could have just took another art class.
Yeah.
right.
But I just remember my dad at the time going, like, you got an opportunity here. Not many people can get into this class, so I think you should take it.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I
Yeah.
took it. But yeah, I could have just took another art class.
I know, right?
Right.
It's-
Well, it's funny because I was looking at your artwork. I went to art school in San Francisco for RTF, and there is a sense of rebellion in your designs, which gives it an edge, and also just kind of like the very vivid colors. It's incredible. I love your artwork.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's just like, I think this guy's a little rebellious. There's something.
yeah, I could totally see that.
Oh,
I
look
get-
at
Which
look
is
at
great.
look at all my photos from back at college and just like post college and total art school angsts.
No, yeah,
Oh.
no,
Yeah.
totally. I've seen some
Yeah.
photos of you from back in the day.
Wow.
You were in some airbrush T-shirt or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With you and your boys.
It was
you
like
know
if
what I mean?
if there's a photo of me, I guarantee you I'm flipping you off. Guarantee.
Yeah.
Right?
So back then, maybe a little bit years prior to college. So what was the first hip hop record that really impacted you? Was it EPMD or was it?
I always say it's a tie, but just a little bit above it is Public Enemy, Nation of Millions, because it was not just the duality of Chuck D and Flavor Flav. It was the production value.
Yeah, the
It
Bomb
was-
Squad.
It was Bomb Squad's incredible, but it was also political. And I know Public Enemy's still making music and they're still being political, but it just doesn't hit as hard
No,
as
it
those
doesn't.
like their first couple albums did. And I want to say that predated the parental advisory sticker
Oh yeah.
too. And it wasn't like Chuck really cussed that much.
I think maybe It Takes Millions was probably prior to the parental advisory sticker thing.
But
right?
then Fear of a Black Planet probably had
I think
it.
that's around the time when they're like Tipper Gore and the Parents Music
Yeah.
Resource Center were like, okay,
And it was kind of special to listen to that album and then find out, oh, the FBI really is tapping their phones.
Yeah.
no doubt,
Right.
right? It's
And
wild.
it's like it makes that music more powerful because it's like for them to pay attention, you're doing something.
Yeah.
Right.
I always find that just that music of that time when Tipper Gore and who else was like a total hater on that stuff. God, what's her name? Who is like the aunt of Whitney Houston? Dionne Warwick.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that?
Yeah, she went in.
Yeah, she went on that, and everyone just kind of up at arms and, with the pitchforks and everything with Snoop and Two Live Crew and Public Enemy and all that kind of stuff. Where are they now?
Yeah.
Why aren't you still doing that? Now it's like, but it's funny because like
Their
PE
platform gave them a platform.
yeah, that now like, PE, much respect, to Chuck D and just Public Enemy and what have you, that, I mean, in 2026, I mean, they're just innocuous. They're just harmless, right? You know what I mean? But back then, like it's threatening. Like Snoop was scary back then. He was on the cover of Newsweek, like basically saying, this is the most dangerous guy in the United States, right?
Right.
And now here he is like on a Zamboni, like in the Winter Olympics, riding like
Hang out with Tucci.
yeah, just hanging out like just on a Zamboni in the Winter Olympics and like smoothing out the ice. I'm like, oh, dude, come on, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But back to like Public Enemy too. We talked about Hayes doing the EPMD logo. Chuck did the PE logo.
I always wondered, the guy in the crosshairs, if that's like
I don't know.
that's from a
I don't-
DMC photo.
Yeah, I don't know if Chuck like did the final version of it, but I'm pretty sure he sketched out the logo of how we know it today.
But that silhouette that's in the logo with the crosshairs, like
You think it's one?
I think it's like
you
it's
think
from
it's
a-
probably Run?
it's probably like from a Run DMC photo because like it's a
It's
dude,
the same hat.
Yeah, it's like the
It's
dude.
the same
It's like
pose.
the dude with the arms crossed like this. You know what I mean? Doing
Yeah.
the kind of profiling with the hat.
Yeah, but all the b-boys back then, especially
Yeah, you're
especially New York, kind of had that same.
Yeah.
And I pose like that in photos to this day. Still,
Oh,
sometimes.
dude, I can't.
Yeah.
I could never take a serious photo, man. That's just my. Yeah, I can never take a.
Remember
serious
that when we take our photo before before we
Oh,
break.
we're gonna do all the poses.
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
should.
go. We're gonna go through the decades to do them.
But yeah, PE, dude. I think we mentioned this. I think we had Annie Langer, and we were talking about the Public Enemy show at the back room, and I went there with I was young, and I went to the Public Enemy show at the back room, and just them being on this small ass stage,
Were the S1Ws there too?
they were there.
Wow, on that small stage,
S1Ws,
marching.
yeah, doing all that militant fucking like that synchronized shit, and Terminator X, you know what I mean? Just that whole thing, and just that Bomb Squad sound. It was just that chaotic sound that they had. Just seeing it, they didn't like. and I hadn't been to very many like concerts, and so just to see that and just to hear it loud was, it was just mind blowing, right? Like a core memory. But yeah, just all those records, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, front to back, probably the first three, right? Like
Right.
we're just like, damn.
They were revolutionary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they to this day, Chuck D's delivery is unmatched anywhere. Like no one copies it,
Yeah.
right? Nobody can copy it.
No one bites their style, right?
And then to just circle back, that Strictly Business, that EPMD album was around the same time. And I like that because it was it was still revolutionary to me, but more like on the chill side. Like we're not militant, but we're going to be ourselves, and you can like it or you can hate it, but we're going to continue doing it. And it also made me aware of sampling. Like I was not aware of sampling until that album came out. And I remember this fondly because I had to borrow that album from Bavu on cassette, and I was going to dub it, right? So,
Dubbing is a thing.
Dubbing is a thing. We weren't bootlegging them. This is just dubbing, just borrowing a cassette, right?
90-minute cassette.
There was this alleyway close to my house, right? And there was an abandoned car there. And we watched it for like a week just to see what would happen. No one came. It never got towed. So at the end of the week,
Did you boost some shit out of it?
we broke into this abandoned car, right? And it just had a bunch of bullshit in it. There's nothing of value. But I remember going through the cassettes just to see like maybe they had some hip hop in it.
Yeah.
No, far from it. There was classical music. The thing I remember most, there was a Star Trek soundtrack cassette. And that's when I learned how if you just put like some paper in the top of the cassette and then wrap tape over it, it lets you record over a cassette tape. And like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, now I can record this EPMD cassette onto this Star Trek cassette
free.
For free.
Yep.
And so you caught me for a full year listening to Strictly Business on a Star Trek cassette.
Was there any bleed through?
No, there was no bleed through, but
That would be great.
the Star Trek soundtrack was shorter than the Strictly Business album, so some songs did get cut off.
Oh.
Yeah. And on both sides, too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Remember there's like, what was it, 45, 60, 90-minute cassettes?
Yeah, you didn't really want to fuck with 120 because the tapes, the 120, the tape gets real thin and it gets snap easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the standard like album cassette or without having to, not the recordable ones, were those 60 minutes on each?
What?
Maybe.
A and B?
Maybe.
60 minutes? What was
There's
the
probably
standard?
45 on each side.
That sounds like
what are you-
more
what are you talk-
durable.
what are you talking about?
Well, if you just bought a Janet Jackson's cassette tape.
I think it would vary. I think the cassette length would just depend on the length of the album. So if maybe some records would could be maybe under 60, so they'll have a 60-minute cassette, or if someone's like getting really spicy with it, okay, their album's longer, so it's like 90. They'll put it on a custom 90-minute cassette, right?
It wouldn't be a 2-pack.
Or there's some records like they're really getting even spicier where I have a double record, and so it's like maybe 2 60s, right? You know what I mean?
With skits.
With skits, which is wild because this is like probably, no pun intended, like it's Nas's biggest mic drop ever is Illmatic because his record's only 39 minutes long.
Yeah.
And he just like every
And
banger.
it's a classic,
You know
if
what I
not
mean?
the biggest classic of hip hop history.
Yeah, it just every song is a statement, right? And then it's like boom, 30 minutes, I'm out, right? And it's just every track, dude. Primo, Q-Tip, Buck Wild, just all these dudes.
Now,
like,
Now, what do you feel about people saying like that album alone killed how records get produced? Having all these different producers do tracks.
I don't know if it. I mean, we were there, right? I don't remember it being like this thing where everyone followed suit. I don't remember that. I mean, I really don't because, you had Muggs and you had Pete Rock, and then you you had the RZA, you know, you just had all these, you know, these producers, you know, I don't know. I don't really recall another record around that time period where they had like that many producers.
Mm-hmm.
It was always like, okay, we're sticking with our guy De La with Prince Paul and what have you. I mean, I don't know. Do you think it changed?
I don't think so. To me, it was more like once it became singles driven and everything turned pop, that's what really changed it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't want to be the boomer, but like I don't really like new hip hop right now. And it's because it's like, it's the same stuff, right? There hasn't been a hip hop album that I really listened front to back in a while.
Do you remember the last time and what it was?
Probably like a Kendrick record.
I think Good Kid, Mad City is probably one of the more recent ones where I can listen to that front to back. And then before that was probably Outkast, Aquemini, for sure. I think that part of the reason I love that first, I guess technically it was the second Public Enemy album. That was like, I could do the whole thing.
Was there a group or a musician, a rapper that you thought could be like the cousin up to Power of Chuck D?
I thought Ice
affected
Cube
you?
had the ability.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. I feel like what
To the extent he even went to the Bomb Squad.
I know that's what I was about
Yeah.
to say is that he continued on that kind of lineage, right? Just that chaotic kind of like revolutionary like sound where I mean the Bomb Squad, you know, Hank Shockley and all those dudes, like, okay, we're all right. We're gonna not necessarily like replicate. I mean, we're gonna replicate what we did with PE with you and America's Most Wanted. Dude, that record's crazy. You know what I mean? And that was, you know, when, and it makes sense because of just the time period. Cube had just left NWA, kind of hated those guys, and you know, I think maybe around that time he also like cut off his Jerry curl, right? So it was just like this, like I'm flipping this script here, and like, you know, fuck you, and this is me,
Right.
Yeah, that record's great.
And he was really the only one being political in that group.
Yeah.
The only one really stepping up and saying something.
Yeah.
And he was writing for Easy also, so that was obvious once he left that he was writing for him. But I think Cube would have gotten up to that level if he continued on that path instead of. I don't know if he chased fame or fortune or pop status
with Cube.
With Cube,
Yeah.
Because I love the movies Friday,
Yeah.
you know, like I love that franchise.
Yeah,
but it's like you can't be a revolutionary face and then you're doing Coors ads.
Yeah,
or,
you're like in a movie like Snow Dogs or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, there were other groups during that time period that were also like pro-black, revolutionary, like Poor Righteous Teachers or the X-Clan or whatever, you know what I mean? That were just like real pro-black, you know what I mean? Like revolutionary.
And I think I would put KRS-One on the same level as Chuck D, but I just think, I don't know what it is, if it's I don't know if it was his production, like he just didn't have enough singles to where it kept your attention.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, like I'm a big KRS-One fan.
Maybe a little preachy, you know what I mean?
That's true. Like, I mean, he does call himself the teacher, you know. And he does tend to teach a little too much.
Yeah, well, what's the record that what's the album that Love's Gonna Get You is on? Is it Edutainment? Yeah, so that song hits, dude. It's about being in love with all your material items. I love my car and whatever. Yeah, it's a great song.
But yeah, I would put him up there. He's definitely on the same level as Chuck D as far as being revolutionary.
Yeah. Did you get to see any of them in person? In
Concerts? I got to see a bunch of them.
Did you go to the Bomb Factory to see those shows? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, my favorite concert of all time was at the Bomb Factory.
Which one was that?
Oh, and I found the record out here earlier. I was listening to it earlier before I even came here. The opener was Souls of Mischief, 93 Till Infinity tour. Then De La came on, and then Tribe Called Quest. It was those three, and it was at Bomb Factory.
Wow.
And when I tell you that was the most incredible show, we showed up zooted. Like it was just wild, right? But it was like, you know, it was that golden era of hip hop. Like that 93 to like 96 is like it's untouchable to me. And that was one of those shows where it's like that concert back then is not coming to Austin.
I know.
Maybe if Tribe was touring by themselves, they would come and stop through somewhere, but that's not happening in Austin.
Yeah.
They're going to Dallas and they're going to Houston,
That's right.
and they're getting the F out of Dodge.
Yeah.
So anytime we heard of anything, like we're enrolled at UT, we would have to do this 3.5 hour drive and just come to this concert and then drive back.
I think one of the very few venues aside from Catfish Station back in the day, you know, on Dirty Six was Liberty Lunch.
Liberty
yeah,
Lunch,
and also like
iconic.
Yeah, also like Electric Lounge would, I think later on have hip hop shows, but I mean Liberty Lunch, right? One of the first bigger shows that I was young that I had ever done was the De La show, right? And then the show after that was Common with the Executioners. And if you look at that poster, Bobby, look it up online. I don't know if you can get away with that poster in 2026, but I mean it's wild. But anyways, very few hip hop shows like that in Austin around at that time. You know, there were only a handful of spaces where you could see acts like that.
Oh, and Catfish Station was one of my favorite venues to go see shows. And speaking of Common, I got to see him at Catfish Station when he was still Common Sense.
I was at that show.
Yeah, and it was with the Beat Nuts.
Yeah, I was at that show.
The Beat Nuts to me is like it's the equivalent of East Coast listening to gangster rap. The lyrics are just ridiculous, right? And like you don't take them seriously, but you memorize them so easily, and you're singing it while you're driving in the car, right? But the beats, I mean, they're called the Beat Nuts for a reason.
Yep.
And the way that they arranged their show is they never did a full song. Everyone got to do their little 16 bars of the first part of the song, and it would immediately beat drop to the next song. So it was just constant energy.
It's like a medley, right?
Oh, yeah. And these beats just, like, I still listen to Beat Nuts probably one day every month or so, just because the beats are that great. But that show was amazing. The sound in Catfish Station was so good, too. From what I remember.
I have photos. I have photos of those shows.
Yeah.
And then kind of the same thing, you know, with the photo at Dread and Irie, you know, there's the photos I took from the stage at Catfish Station. There are girls in the front that, I mean, they're still around.
Yeah.
I mean, they're young. They're young, you know what I mean? And they're just like standing there with their arms crossed, like, this is crazy, you know? And so, you know, there's photos of Baby G, you know, and like Mad Flavor, you know what I mean? You know,
because back then they called Austin like a B city as far as like music was. I remember them saying that.
Yeah, kind of like a B market.
Yeah,
right?
B market. Yeah.
I mean, it totally makes sense.
But like, thanks to people like, you know, like Hip Hop Mecca and some of these other promoters in town, like they are the ones that started bringing in all these shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, taking a chance on it.
Yeah.
I forgot about the promoters.
And like we supported them because they were bringing in the acts we wanted to see. And like I don't have anything against Dallas or Houston, but I don't want to drive all the way just to see one show and then have to drive back.
That's a drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a thing. I mean, even now, I mean, it would have to be something really special for me to drive that far, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays you just get a hotel room. You're not driving back.
No, you're not. You definitely are not driving back.
I'm too tired.
But just that energy, you know, I mean, yeah, just to be around that time, you know, just being, you know, just into hip hop, just that energy, right? I mean, I don't think we have that. I mean, you know, I don't want to be, you know, the guy on the porch again, shaking his fists, yelling at the clouds or whatever. But it was just an exciting time.
Yeah.
It really, really was. You know what I mean? And just, you know, everything that I was dropping at the time, you know, like all those records, right? Ready to Die, 36 Chambers, Mecca and the Soul Brother, right? You name it, Far Side's Lab Cabin, California. I don't know. It was just like, it was like this endless stream of like amazing records, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you were talking about like maybe like Rachel brought up something about when things started to change. Like I think it was around maybe 97 when it was just all like Bad Boy like was starting to get commercial, like all the jiggy stuff, you know, and then you also saw it splinter off with all the backpacker stuff. Raucous, everything that was on Raucous, you know, on Fondulum, you know, there was Company Flow and Most Def and just everything on the Rockets, you know, on the Raucous Records label and all that kind of stuff. And there were just a ton of indie record labels, you know, from New York and LA, just dropping stuff, Dilated Peoples, Defari, whatever. But yeah, that's when things started to splinter off, and it was still exciting.
Yeah.
And when did Southern hip hop come into view? When was there?
It was always a thing.
Really?
Yeah,
before Outkast. Like I remember Dungeon Family, Outkast.
I mean, it's always been a thing. I mean,
But
I think in the 80s, mid to late 80s, I think, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, but just like some of the rap artists like in Texas were kind of emulating that New York sound, right?
For sure.
You know, and then
The exception to me would be the Ghetto Boys, because that was the first time I was like, I can't say it was the first time, but as far as like Houston proper, I was like, that was the first time I paid attention. I was like, oh, this is gangster rap from Houston. It's they're not trying to be New York.
Yeah.
And even though they're gangster, they're not trying to be West Coast. They're not gangbangers. They're more like horror gangsters, you know, like mentally ill, like sick thought gangsters. I was like, that's their own style, right? But before that, I still claim DOC as Dallas because
oh no, totally 1,000%.
Right. But back then too was also local groups Nemesis and Ron C.
Yeah, Nick and I were talking about Nemesis and that track Munchies for Your Bass. You know what I mean? So yeah, they were on Profile. So yeah, I mean, there's that, right?
Right. But the whole term "Dirty South" wasn't a thing.
No.
They were just like, no, that's Ghetto Boys
it
from
was
Houston,
definitely,
right?
It was definitely
That's
not a thing.
Nemesis. They went to Berkner High School in Richardson. Like you know, it wasn't like a subgenre.
I mean, Miami bass wouldn't even be considered Dirty South. I mean,
that's its own
Florida
thing too.
That was his
carnival
own thing. Yeah.
Oh well, I went through that. Like I still like listening to like
Miami
DJ
bass.
Magic Mike.
Yeah.
And, oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, especially if you have a good system in your car. Play some DJ Magic Mike. I don't care what album.
Just Two Live Crew and what are the other ones that I like Afro Rican, Give It All You Got.
Rodney O and Joe Cooley.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. All that just
It's a high BPM too.
yeah, it's like 130, something like that, but just all the Miami, Poison Clan, everything that was on Luke Records, Macola Records or whatever. But yeah, man. Yeah, the first time I ever heard Two Live Crew, Bobby, was, I was a kid. And we were walking back, like I was with a group of kids from my hometown, and we were walking back to my car. Not my car, but the van we were all in. And there was this car that drove by that played We Want by Two Live. And I lost it. I could not stop laughing. I'm like, is this for real?
Yeah.
Is this for real? Is this a real song? Young, impressionable ears listening to something like this for the first time. I could not believe it. And it happened in the Six Flags parking lot in Dallas.
Yeah, everything about that album, the album cover, like
they're all rocking the Miami starter jackets.
They had the sheriffs like just ready, like, all right, as soon as you play this song, we're arresting all of you. Like we're standing on stage. And they still played it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And the 12-inch for that song, I mean, it's black background, red letters, and it just in bold red letters it says Two Live Crew, we want. in bold letters.
Do you ever think about how much like the music and just the culture in general like kind of raised us to be adults, like faster than we probably were planning to be?
Yeah,
because I'm not just talking hip hop too. Like I'm talking about what is it, Lords of Acid, and
Oh yeah, all the late '80s kind of like club, like new
hard,
beat,
hard industrial,
like, industrial joints, man,
type stuff,
right? Yeah, totally, like Thrill Kill Cult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I remember going to a Thrill Kill Cult show with my very first girlfriend, as a matter of fact, and I remember going into it because I'm like, man, yeah, their music's cool and dangerous and scary, man. Let's go to their show. It was somewhere here in Austin, and we walked in, and wild show, right? The show was wild. Like there's just a bunch of people on the stage, and it's just this chaotic like industrial music, and they had a guy that was like strapped to this wall thing, right? And they started whipping him like on some bondage shit. And I'm like, okay, this is not fun anymore. He's like getting his ass beat on stage right now. I'm like, this is not fun. He was getting his ass beat. I wasn't looking like it. Like I wasn't looking at it through the lens of like, okay, this is some weird fetish type thing.
Oh my
and they're
God.
doing this for art. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, this guy's getting his ass beat right now.
He probably likes it too.
Yeah.
But
That's
I wasn't
true.
thinking
That's
that.
true.
I wasn't thinking about that. I was like with my first girlfriend going, this guy's getting his ass beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For real. I thought his ass.
But like you went to that show, and for the first time, you're like, this thing exists.
No, yeah. Yeah. I wasn't looking at, maybe I wasn't, cultured enough at the time or mature enough to realize that is a fetish and that's what people get into. I was literally looking at it like, this guy's getting punished. What did he do wrong? You know what I
What did he
mean?
do wrong?
And I just looked at my first girlfriend going, okay, you know what? Let's go to Katz's. You know what I mean? Let's go
Eat a
eat.
sandwich.
But
Like,
you listen to like that 2 Live Crew album, and you're like, they don't teach you any of this in sex ed,
No.
dude.
right?
No,
and you're just
dude.
like, yo, I learned more from this album.
Dude. I just love it because they just didn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they didn't care. Like, nasty as we want to be, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to listen to hip hop at all in the 90s. And that, I was a kid in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
In the 80s, it was all about Satanism, playing the record backwards. Maybe
Right.
the devil will talk straight to you. And so I didn't really get into hip hop until the aughts,
Yeah.
or when I started working here in 2000. So, like, looking at all the 2 Live Crew stuff, I remember in the periphery being like, these guys are real bad apples, and they're really causing, a scene with all the sex talk. And I guess all of us were intrigued, but it was just kind of like, I don't know. It was almost kind of like a buried treasure that you were scared to open.
Yeah.
Man, like for homework for you guys, if you haven't seen it already, or the listeners, more homework. Go on YouTube, punch in 2 Live Crew Donahue. Remember that talk show?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yes.
go on the 2 Live Crews on there, and it's like they're performing, right? And
Yeah.
all the Luke dancers with
Yep.
the crazy like fishnet stockings, just booty dancers and stuff like that. And you see all these like just straight normal like white people, just
Like who else is off on a Wednesday afternoon to watch
I know.
Donahue in person?
yeah.
You know?
And there you could just see the look on
yeah.
their faces, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, the whole talk show circuit was my education because I was a latchkey kid.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the first time I saw Gwar was on Jerry Springer.
Yeah. So it was just cool to see just out of context type like bookings on talk shows like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the 2 Live Crew shit, it was just like the best part was just like when they would, pan over to the crowd, and then like there would be some like woman just like, oh my God.
Just
You know
a
what I mean?
state
Like,
of shock.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they sang the whole song with no interruptions.
What song do they do?
It
There's
might
a
be
song.
2-minute
Okay,
song.
I could say it because we could cuss on the show. There's a song by 2 Live Crew called "The Fuck Shop," right? Mm-hmm. And so, but I think what they performed was "The Funk Shop" on Donahue.
Oh, they definitely had like clean versions of all their songs.
Yeah.
And they didn't just like bleep out curse words and that's the clean version. No, they switched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
which was super smart. But it's like nobody wanted that album.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
We're gonna play it in the, the junior high dance. Like it's just not gonna be played at all. But that was actually a really smart thing because we all, especially we've had to clean lots of tracks for certain clients, and their wants and needs for music, and the worst thing would have to kind of clean the bleeps, and so it was great to actually find someone who decided to switch out a word, so we're like, oh, phew,
Or it would be a completely just a completely different version. It wasn't like you were saying, it's not the dirty version where they cut out the words or reversed it or whatever. It was like a completely different version.
Yeah.
There are a lot of songs, a lot of hip hop songs that I like where I think the clean version's way better than the dirty version.
See, I disagree. I'll be listening to a song, and when I find out, like, because I'm in my head or out loud, I'm reciting lyrics, and then when I find out it's the clean version, I'm pissed.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
Like,
but
I'm like, what is this shit?
Yeah, like the clean version of Jaquan's "Tipsy," I think is way better than the dirty version. There's like just not all of them are like that for me, but there are certain songs where, like when Nick was here, we were talking about Fat Joe's "Shit Is Real," right? Which was produced by DJ Premier, and the clean version's better than the dirty version because Primo is scratching the dirty words out.
Oh,
that's what makes it so cool. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm not saying that all clean versions are cool. I mean, but yeah, I mean, of course, like, dude, I do not want to hear a clean version of the Two Live Crew. You know what I mean?
Right. It does depend on context and who the artist is, because think about like the God Rakim.
Yeah.
Like I've maybe heard him cuss once.
I was about to say he doesn't really.
Like I've heard my mom cuss more than Rakim, which is wild to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about that before we recorded. Rachel,
I was just saying, I've heard my mom cuss more in English, more than I've heard. Dude. I've heard my mom cuss a lot in Tagalog.
So your mom speaks Tagalog, okay? So speaking of like dirty songs and dance tracks, and we were talking about all things Filipino, or things from the Philippines. There's this track that I love. It's a house track. And it's by 20 Fingers, and if you don't know who 20 Fingers. Who they are is like they're house producers, and their claim to fame was that track "Short Dick Man," right? Remember that song? It was huge.
Yeah.
But they have a track called "Putang Ina Mo." Putang Ina Mo.
Wow. Wait. So are they Pinoy? These producers?
I think one of them is.
Okay. They
could, but anyways, that song is a banger. It's like he's just repeating like "Ay nako, putang ina mo," and you're like, if you're Filipino, you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? That's like the meanest thing you can say to somebody, right?
Yeah.
I remember playing it for my mom. I'm like, Mom, check this out, and I started playing, and she's like, turn that off, and I'm just like, no, man, isn't this great? She's like, no, this is terrible. You know what I mean? And then and I sent it to Rhett Maddock, is one of the members of the Beat Junkies in Los Angeles, and he's Filipino along with Babu, and Shortcut or whatever. And I sent it to him. I was like, dude, I'm sending this to you. Check this out. And I never got a response. I don't know if he was offended by it or if he liked it, but do your homework, folks. That song is great.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's our duty as Filipinos, though, to try to teach those words to as many non-Filipinos as possible.
Oh, dude, that was my thing when I was a kid. There was a guy I hadn't seen in forever, right? Like that grew up in my neighborhood back home, and I hadn't seen him for years. And it was at a Texas basketball game when the Frank Irwin Center was still around. He walked up to me because he is a Baylor alum. We played Baylor. And he walked up to me, and the first thing he said to me was, "Putang ina mo." Putang ina mo. And I'm like, dude, you still remember that after all these years? Because I used to say it all the time as a kid, in the neighborhood. I used to say that shit. And I'm like, dude, you need to learn this, And they're like,
let me ask you this while we're talking about the basketball game.
Yeah.
Could you, I know you're not going to do it, but could you get away with playing that at the
Oh, hell no. Hell
Like who
no.
who would know? Or would someone have to narc to
Filipino, I think you play it once, you're good. I think
I
twice.
think one. I think
like
okay,
if we're talking like one of those little 10-second bumps before the ball gets inbounded, like just like a quit
no,
hit and split.
I don't think anything would happen, but I think that the folks that I work with at Texas would be like, "What the hell is he playing? And what are they
Is
saying
that
in
a
this
sound
song?"
effect?
So
or-
they're that familiar like with what you're gonna play?
No, I think they would hear it and then they would be like, "What is this?" You know what I mean?
They would definitely be like, "Oh, this is not English."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
That
what I
would
mean?
probably raise suspicion to them.
Maybe not the first time. I think they would just be eating their popcorn and be like, well, what's
Because if you play
What do you
Bad
mean, like-
Bunny, they wouldn't question that, right?
No. Like the folks at Texas. I mean, you know, at the women's games, they're like, "Yeah, dude, we want you to play Bad Bunny, and we want you to play this and that and the other." There are certain things that they don't want to hear, right? I mean, and that's coming from the coaching staff. But I mean, I could probably get away with that 20 Fingers song like somewhere, but
What if it was just like the instrumental part of it? Like if you're familiar with the song,
I
and
could
you
play.
ju-
I
you
could. I could play the instrumental.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But just the I knuckle. No, man, that ain't gonna fly, dog.
Do you think if you play any instrumental of Two Live Crew, look,
I think you could.
I know.
Yeah,
I totally, dude. You know what I mean?
really any of the tracks?
Because
dude.
I'm going to tell you from the perspective of people sitting in the stands, right? The vibes that y'all have put music wise at the women's games have been immaculate, right?
Well,
And
I'm glad.
know-
You know what? Do me a favor. Do me a
you.
favor. Can you please email the athletics department?
Yeah,
and
I
say,
will. I totally will.
Yo, like,
And
dude,
I'll
I really
tell
like.
'em, like, hey.
I like what Mel's doing.
like I will buy an extra season ticket if you let him play Mobb Deep as much as he wants, you know?
There you go.
And it's
Yo,
like
yeah,
I've
yeah.
never been to a stadium and heard Mobb Deep.
Exactly.
You know? And I'm like, but you look at our section and we're all dancing.
yeah.
For those 10 seconds before that ball gets inbounded, we're dancing to Mobb
Yeah.
Deep. Right?
Yeah, I definitely apply, my musical past and my musical knowledge and all the music that I've acquired. You know what I mean? Everything that you hear, like all the instrumentals, those are the actual instrumentals because I own those records, right? Now you could use stems, which is like
yeah.
basically like on Serato, you could, there's a feature on Serato now when you play a track, you can just get rid of the vocals. Right.
And
And
it
it's
splits up.
You
it's
can
just the beats.
isolate
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, but you could kind of tell because it's not perfect yet that you could
Yeah.
you could hear like just
Yeah.
artifacts and just little parts of the vocal in the background if you have a discerning ear. But everything that I play, like whether it's Mobb Deep or I'll be playing some stuff like that you would never hear anywhere else, right?
Right.
And I definitely take pride in that, right? This is Texas. We're not supposed to be like anyone else, right? We're not supposed to follow. We're supposed to lead.
Well, and I can
right?
I can tell you from the crowd's perspective, we appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad
Because
to
I
hear
mean,
that.
you still have to do Mr. Brightside and
Yeah.
No,
Sweet Caroline and all that.
No, totally,
stuff.
totally.
But-
I mean,
and there's time and place for that, and it gets people hyped up. But it's like, man, we're watching basketball. I don't want to hear Sweet Caroline. I don't even want to hear that at a baseball game.
yeah, no, yeah, but well, that's the thing about like playing,
ad nauseam.
like playing, playing for like a college athletics team. That I have to put away. I have to put to the side my DJing music nerd
Right.
brain, and I have to put it in like sports mode where, you just you have to keep in mind that you're playing for alumni, you're playing for older people, you're playing for a lot of kids, you're playing for the students who probably don't even know who Mobb Deep is.
True.
They weren't even a thought when that song came, when Shook Ones came out, right? You know what I mean? They were a zygote or
Maybe
something
their
like that. You know what I
parents
mean?
thought, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so they just don't know, but I just want to keep it fun. I want it to be where, I'm playing, like all this, like all these instrumentals at every dead ball, and they're like, whoa, what? Wow, he's playing this.
Well, not only that, like where our section is, we sit kind of a little diagonally behind the home team bench. And so when they're doing warm-ups at the start of the game, the visiting team is closest to us.
And you get
So
to see,
I get to see them jamming
Oh yeah.
to y'all doing your thing. And it's like I wouldn't do that. Like as someone who considers themselves competitive, like if I go to someone else's house, I'm locked in. I don't care how good the DJ is. I'm locked in. No. The whole visiting team is jamming.
Yeah.
And that
yeah.
says a lot.
Yeah. That.
In
yeah.
front of the home team's bench
Yeah.
warming up.
Yeah.
I definitely hone in on that. I definitely lean in and lean onto that, if that makes any sense. When I see that, I think there was a game, was it last season, where South Carolina came in, right? Mm-hmm. And I just started playing all this stuff like Jersey Club stuff, and they were just like, dude, I can't believe I'm hearing this here. And they were all dancing and everything, and they lost. They lost.
You did your part, Mel.
I did my part. I'm all, I definitely want to have like a home field advantage at the games, musically. And sometimes the music helps. Sometimes it doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. I think this season, it's really helped because I think Texas, the women's team, they're undefeated at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what you're ultimately saying is, was the next home game the 22nd?
Oh yeah.
You're going to do a 2 Live Crew instrumental.
yeah, I'm going to play Hoochie Mama. Dude, that instrumental fucking hits.
That's Miami based,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to just the volume just a little bit higher when you play that one.
I
Any
love
of the
that
booty
song.
songs the girls just love. They're just like,
Yeah.
ooh.
You know what's wild about that song? Because it was on the Friday soundtrack, right? And so Craig's girlfriend in the movie, every time she would appear in the movie, that song would play, right? So for the longest time, like this, I'm telling you, I have watched this movie a zillion times. I mean, it's a comfort movie. It's comfort food for me. All right, if I'm having a bad day and I'm not feeling like myself, I will watch that movie, right? And for the longest time, guys, when the scene where she's calling Craig, like, where were you last night? You know what I mean?
Who you talking to?
Yeah. That there's a guy in the bed.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Like she's accusing him of like sleeping around or cheating, but she's the one that's cheating because there's a dude in the background like sleeping in the bed. I did not know that for years.
Really?
I did.
I noticed that at the theater.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't, dude. I didn't notice that, and when I did, I'm like, whoa, like, oh my God, like, yeah, man. What a thought. You know what I mean? She's a total thought, dude.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was a word for a while.
She drove around in a Honda. Was it a Honda Civic?
Something. Yeah.
Like a
little
coupe?
hatchback. It was a little hatchback or
something like
something,
that.
right?
Just buzzing around town, just wiling out and accusing Craig of just being unfaithful. You know what I mean? And calling the house and driving Craig's mom crazy.
Right.
Was that did that take place in Southern California?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
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 Compton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Compton or Watts? Or is that the same?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean I like Friday. I like Dre. I like all the West Coast guys just because I grew up around the lowrider culture.
Yeah.
In school, hydraulics were everything. Where in another podcast, I think it was Nick Nack. There wasn't much hydraulics in the car shows in Texas. It wasn't like a thing. I'm like, that's fascinating. There's no hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was like in maybe small pockets here and there
Okay.
in all the major cities, but I think if I do remember, it was all lowered trucks, right?
Right.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
with subs and stuff like
And
that.
they were mini trucks.
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the Toyota trucks, right?
And it was like a little mini truck. And like, how did you fit 8 subwoofers
I
in
know.
it? You know?
Yeah, and dudes in Honda Civics, right?
And it's hard to explain this, but if somebody has like a big booming system in their car, you can smell the bass.
Yeah.
I don't know what it does, like how it vibrates the
smell it.
air, or it's shaking the
Does it smell like an
the
old
box that the subwoofers
Yeah,
are in,
yeah,
or
yeah.
something, electronic is burning or something. But I smell
Is it like an ion smell? Like a
Kinda,
dust
yeah.
ion? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's almost like if you've ever licked a 9-volt battery, but like it's that feeling, but smelling it.
Yes.
Yeah, what it probably is that it's probably the box, and because there's that gray carpet that's on all those like
Right.
sub boxes, right? I think what it's used to hear that gray carpet, and so when there's all this low end coming out, right? It like through that all that air coming through the port.
Yeah.
It could be that. I mean, I
It's
don't know.
got to be because it's very specific to subwoofers.
Yeah.
Do people have those anymore? Like in just regular cars?
Oh,
I
there's some
guess?
people that still rock that. I mean, I think a lot of people.
How do they secure them? So that, I mean, is it bars over?
I mean, I don't know. I know that there's some
I remember
people.
seeing those.
I think with just later cars and newer cars. I mean, the sound system in there is so good that people
Right.
don't want and it's so what's it, proprietary, where like it just would not be a good idea to yank the stock stereo out of there because it's such a big part of your dash now, right? And there's all these touch screens now and whatever, but
Yeah.
but back in the day, like, man, you know what I mean? Like, I had a Corolla.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
You didn't care about keeping anything in a Monte Carlo
yeah.
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think nowadays it's like it's very cultural. Like you have to be like in that culture, that car culture, or whether it's lowrider or it's import culture or
yeah, yeah.
music car culture.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos that I see online, whether it's IG or TikTok or whatever, just just that whole subculture of guys who, whether it's a truck or a van, and they'll fill it up with like 20 18s in it, and they'll put a girl in there with long hair, right? And they'll play some crazy song, and her hair will start going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Did you guys ever look at the lowrider magazines?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was like soft porn with a little
It
bit
really
of gear.
was.
Yeah.
yeah.
It really was. It was like it didn't have the black bar over the plastic, so you could buy it.
Exactly.
But like let's be real too. Like the paint jobs on these cars were beautiful.
Yes.
Like the
Immaculate,
designs,
right?
and then they would also throw in the bicycles
Oh,
every now and again.
Yeah.
And they would have graffiti in there. Like that was a whole like a new cultural experience, and like just strictly speaking from an art background, like that opened up avenues for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Easy Rider another magazine that you looked at, or
I
like
didn't look at
tattoo
Easy Rider
magazines?
as much. Tattoo magazines for sure.
Yeah.
That's like the Chopper magazine.
Yeah,
right?
it's more Chopper.
Okay.
And
Like
it
Hell's
was
Angels type shit, right?
it was more just because like I didn't relate to that culture, the chopper culture. I related to sport bike culture, so I would get that.
Dude,
for
before
sure.
Yeah.
I forget, that's funny you brought that up because we brought this up when Nick was here. There was one time I was on the east side, dude. I was on Manor Road. I was at a stoplight, okay? And I'm just sitting there in my car, and then I look behind me, and I was like, look at this motherfucker, dude. He's on a fucking like ninja-looking bike. He's got these Oakley like blades on him. I think he's got a mullet. He looks like Mark Gastineau or who's homeboy that played football for Oklahoma, the linebacker that's famous, Brian Bosworth.
Yeah,
I'm like, look at this knucklehead, and it's you.
it's me.
you kind of had like this mullet '80s,
It wa-
like
hey, let's be real. It wasn't a mullet. Just all my hair was long. It wasn't like the sides were short.
I was like, that is Bobby, dude. Like
That was
Wait, how long are we talking about?
this is like
This was like-
2004.
yeah,
your butt?
this was right after that hip hop golden era. And I had like a red Ninja ZX6R. It was fast as hell. And I'm still a knucklehead. I would ride around without my helmet.
Yeah, I mean, like I think he had a tank top and it was dangle. I'm like, look at this dude. Like, what is this? 1988 again? I was tripping, dude. And it was
Did you know him at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You said yeah. And
That-
did you realize that later, or did you realize that at that point?
No,
in time?
I knew it was him
Did you stop?
because
That's
you worked
hilarious.
on the east side at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was off me.
You worked. Yeah, you worked with Goldie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you slow down and say hi?
No, I mean, I mean, I had to be somewhere, and I was just looking through the review. I'm like, look at this dude.
I called
at
that
this
called that my Akira bike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice bright red.
Oh yeah.
And it was loud because it like the person I bought it from put like a racing exhaust on it, and so I never had to use my horn. All I had to do was pull the clutch
Grab
in
it,
and just
yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
And every car around me, because that's the most dangerous part about riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you handle your own stuff, it's the other cars don't know you're there sometimes.
Exactly.
And you just, but also that bike was just a flick of the wrist, and you go 0 to 60 in like
Wow.
2.5 seconds. It was something ridiculous
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. The power to weight ratio on things like that is scary. I mean, I had a scooter, and that was nothing like a Ninja, but that was scary in itself. You know what I mean? Not only, because when you're in a car and you're going 35, 40, that's not fast in a car. But if you're in a little scooter, it's just like that's fast, right?
Yeah.
Imagine being on a crotch rocket like yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to have some confidence. I would
going 90 on Mopac or something like that.
But you know what that era was? DMX Rough
not.
Riders.
That's right.
Is that
Also,
were you
that
on
was
that?
the same time.
You
Okay.
were feeling it.
But I was about the music, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, Rough Riders, I'm about it,
Yeah.
right? But I was like, I'm not gonna wear colors or like be affiliated with the
What
motorcycle
are you,
clubs, right?
Pyru?
I legit bought that motorcycle because at the time we were a 1-car household, and I was like, I need something. I can't just be taking this bus, because we
Sure.
lived at the Arboretum
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, that's far.
at the time, and I'm going all the way to the east side. I was like, nah, man, I need some form of
Yeah.
transportation. And I was like, I can buy this motorcycle right now. I just have to go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a brave soul, because I could not do that. I mean, especially now, I think, any motorcycle scooter type thing, or even just an electric bike, I think that's just a dangerous thing to do in Austin. It's just dangerous.
But you were like a ruckus kid, right?
Yeah. But what started the beginning of the end for me is when I got into an accident.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was by the university attack. It was by the university. It was by campus.
That makes sense, though.
And it was when students, it was the first week of school, and I got pinned under a Jeep.
Dang.
Yeah. And after that, I was like, no,
Yeah.
like that was enough for me. I mean, I would drive it and I would ride it around in my neighborhood for fun. But after that, I didn't use it as like my main mode of transportation. I started driving my car again after that, because that just really just scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Quadrophenia, the movie? It's with all the Vespas and Lambrettas, and it was like
Was the Who on the soundtrack?
I think so.
I can't remember.
So when I was growing up, like in the early '90s, I bought 2 Vespas, and I had one in the shop, and of course all the European parts took like forever to go to get there and to be repaired, and so finally got my Chariot out rally, and I was in San Francisco. I was just so excited to ride it, and everything was it wasn't smooth. It was just real like hard to get into all the gears, and then you have all these pedals, and then I just flipped it. And I got a bunch of gravel in my leg, and I never rode it after that. And I was just like, I'm done. But up to that point, I was doing all these rallies to go see ska shows in San Francisco, and I lived in San Jose. So the Specials, I remember the Toasters, No Tout,
Yeah.
Palo Alto. There was this club called The Edge. I was just talking to my sister, and we went and saw like Love and Rockets there, and I also saw like Crispin Glover and his Boy Toys do a show there, which was interesting. And I was all about finally getting this scooter and having all the freedom in the world. And I one crash, and I'm just like, nope.
But you weren't riding that from San Jose to San Francisco, though, were you?
Yeah, I was
You
actually
were?
in one of the extra. I wasn't riding it. I was dating a guy that had a sidecar.
A sidecar.
Yeah, and I would sit in the sidecar, or I would, and in other rallies, I would.
That's a drive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would be a
that is.
rally of all these people that would get together. It was just like a club. They all had their Chariot out, Quadrophenia. I mean, like some of the rear view mirrors would be these long necks, and you would have like a ton of them. Just like
Oh, yeah,
crazy
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And everything was about skanking and ska shows. But I got this like honeycomb. That's why I'm DJ Honeycomb. I have a honeycomb scar from the gravel of
the gravel.
Yeah, in San Francisco from that rally Vespa that I crashed and burned. I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. I'm not ever getting on a motorcycle or scooter again.
You definitely,
Fantasizing it for years.
Yeah,
I finally
I mean-
got it and crashed and burned.
I think after your first accident, it definitely instills the fear of God in you, right?
Yeah.
It just like puts the fear in God. You're just like, okay, I still have PTSD from it. I mean, I had to get a lawyer. You know what I mean?
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, because the kid that, he's probably like a grown up now. I mean, clearly he's a grown up now. But anyways, at the time, the guy who was driving the car wasn't the owner of the car. He was driving his friend's car.
Sure.
So I don't think he had. I mean, there was insurance, but I was advised like, hey, dude, that accident could have potentially been super gnarly for you. I highly advise you get a lawyer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm glad I did, because I think I would have been screwed. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, the kid that was driving, he was driving his friend's car. The guy who owned it the kid who owned the car wasn't in the car, right? It was just this whole thing where like I couldn't do it on my own, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, aside from killing yourself on a bike,
But I'm glad we all have bike stories.
I know.
You were like styling on yours. We were like crashing and burning on ours.
Right. So first concerts, real quick. I know you mentioned Souls of Mischief,
Tribe.
De La and Tribe, right?
Right.
Was there any shows before that?
Oh, Beastie Boys with Public Enemy.
Okay.
Was it?
What was like the first one where you're just like the first time you were able to hear amplified music, where like you were able to first
Honestly,
experience
it
that?
was probably like a 4th of July concert, and I think it was Alabama.
Okay.
Which as a like
No,
like
you're
a
a
little,
kid, of
yeah, a little
course.
kid, you're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
hey, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it was Alabama, so like I can't front. I kind of knew 3 songs just because it's
they were
always on the
huge.
radio, right?
Yeah, those dudes were huge.
And it's like
man.
you're riding in the car with your parents, like they're not listening to Tribe Called Quest.
No.
So yeah, I knew what it was.
Yeah. Alabama, dude.
Yeah.
Remember those dudes, man? They all had like the long feathered hair. They all had beards, and they all had like snap pearl Western shirts that were kind of like the buttons were kind of like they were
Oh,
kind of
they
unbuttoned.
could easily open a bar on the east side right now, and it would be wildly popular.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were showing their chests. They were wearing these skin tight jeans and stuff.
Did they sing Elvira or no?
No, that was the Oak Ridge Boys.
Oh, get
Yeah.
mixed up.
What was I can't remember. But anyways, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, just was really hot in Austin now. If you look like that in 2026, man, dude, come on.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need a motorcycle.
No motorcycle.
But I bet, like Run DMC was an early one. The Beastie Boys and Public Enemy was big. Just on the R&B front, New Edition, and this was already Bobby Brown had split, so it was New Edition with Bobby Brown and I'll Be Sure.
Ooh.
That was good.
The original.
And then a few years later, it was Belle Biv DeVoe.
Okay.
I'm a little older at that point, but
Yeah.
But that's still one of the earlier ones I remember.
What's the last concert that you went to that you enjoyed?
I went to the latest Queens of the Stone Age taping for PBS for ACL.
Nice.
It was different. No,
I love Queens.
but I liked it was in 3 acts. They recorded an album in the catacombs.
Oh.
And so the second act was like real kind of creepy and dark, and that was sweet. And then Leon Thomas previously before that, his taping, and that show was excellent.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough I got to do the poster
Nice.
for that one.
Wow.
So.
Do a lot of people contact you and say, please, I'd love for you to do X, Y, or Z? And do you kind of just pick and choose now, or do you accept most of the inquiries? Or
No, like so fortunately I have a full-time job as a designer, but then my freelance stuff, which is mostly what you see online and on Instagram, that affords me the ability to say no. Which I don't like saying no. I say yes, but.
Exactly.
And the but usually means it's more money than what they want to pay me.
Yeah.
So that way I'm not saying no, y'all are saying no.
Yeah, you kind of weed out folks,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
But it's afforded me opportunities where it's like just recently within the past couple of years, I've worked with the Texas Rangers during the World Series.
Nice.
Work with the MLS during the All-Star game and things like that. And it's all because like, yeah, I pick and choose now as far as freelance goes.
Yeah. Would you consider, this might sound like a ridiculous question, would you consider yourself a hyper visual person?
I would say to an extent.
Can you see music?
I can see it, and this is funny because while I was in undergrad and I was taking like upper division painting courses, I was painting huge, like we're talking 8 foot by 12 foot canvases that I'm making myself too.
Yeah.
Right.
Stretching that out.
And I'm following Jean-Michel Basquiat. I'm following Cy Twombly, all these expressionistic painters that are not doing anything like tangible as far as visually, like, oh, that's a person or whatever. Cy Twombly is literally scribbling large format paintings. And I would look at his paintings. I was like, this is jazz. If you look at this, this is jazz. I was like, there's no reason I can't paint similar to that and make it hip hop. And that's what my professors were like, well, now you know what you need to do this semester. Nice. So it forced me to visualize sound.
Yes.
And to this day, probably still one of the most hardest, most difficult things I've had to do.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to just be stereotypical and like right now you could do like the little speaker emoji.
Sure.
You know, and make that a visual language on a painting or whatever. But it's like, how do you progress from that and do something different? So
I'm sure
it'd be something to definitely explore again.
Yeah. And the way you end up executing that, I'm sure people will say, and we talked to a guest previously about art, you know, what you think is going to be a winner, some people think is not a winner, and then the thing that you think is not going to be great, a lot of people are like, this is great. And so it's just kind of like whatever you end up executing, that could be a kind of a depiction of seeing sound. I'm sure it's going to be awesome just because you've had all this foundation and you're a music lover. So I was just curious because some people can see sound. I've never been able to see sound, but I've seen visuals of movement, of people moving.
Right.
Yeah, I'm definitely jealous of people that, I forgot what the phenomena is.
Yeah,
or
it's a word I can't remember.
Folks that when they hear music they see colors.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I forgot
Pharrell says he has that. So
I forgot the term. I know that I've Googled it many times, but my memory's terrible. But anyways, Bobby is a big cyclist, right? I mean, you ride a lot.
I rode this morning, 35 miles this morning.
So,
whoa,
how many?
35.
That just made me tired. Just you saying that, yo.
It's like, oh my God, my legs are
I
sore.
had to
from him
replace the
saying that.
motorcycle with something.
Yeah,
you know?
gotta eat some bananas after hearing that, dude. Just get rid of that lactic acid, right? So what are you listening to when you're on your bike?
Nothing. Because
Really?
it's just like you said, in Austin, especially right now, it's dangerous.
Oh, okay.
For a while when I was riding, like doing solo rides, it does tend to get boring. So this is back in like the iPod Shuffle days when it was the little clip, right? So I could clip it to like the inside of my jersey pocket. And there was a company that made a corded earbud that was stereo.
Oh, tight.
And so what I would do is I would put that on the curb side, so my right ear, and I could still hear traffic on the left.
Okay.
Smart.
And now it's just gotten way too, especially with way more electric cars now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like you cannot hear them.
That's right.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. So it's like you have to be hyper vigilant about being safe and looking around. And it's like music is just not. Not that I'm against it. There are people I ride with that have like the speakers that fit in your water bottle cage, and that's a vibe. I like that too.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool for sure. But I'm also like, that thing probably weighs like 5 pounds.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
you know, like,
you're thinking about weight. That's
and like we're about to go up a hill, and like
yeah, that's wild about electric cars because I mean, you know, when you're in a parking garage or whatever, and you see one like pull up or whatever or drive by, you're like, I mean, they creep.
yeah.
Do you remember the Jetsons cartoon and how they would get in their little, I guess, cars, but their little spaceships and they go.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
bubble
Yeah.
noises.
It sounds like bubble noises, especially when they are in reverse. But like wow, it sounds like the Jetsons.
Yeah, you know, we're speaking
Silent.
about gangster rap and you know what I mean, like Boys in the Hood and Friday and Menace to Society. Man, what a time to be a drive-by shooter right now. You could just creep up on somebody in your Tesla and just do what you do. Just, you know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't condone that kind of behavior. Hey, I do not wish that kind of stuff on people. But
APB out on a Prius.
I know, man. You like, yo, I'm in my Model Y, dog. You better watch out, dude. Me and my boys are going to be creeping tonight, dude. You know what I mean? Where's Ricky at? You know what I mean? Like, so. Wow. Well, Bobby, it's been a pleasure. And like, I'm so grateful that you're here, and I'm really, happy and that, you were able to spend time with us. And I'm really, thankful that you were generous.
No, that's
Yeah, thanks for being
I'm
here.
very honored to be here.
You know what I mean?
I can't wait to listen to all the episodes that just got released also.
Yeah. Folks, if you're listening right now, you'll probably listen to this way after the fact. But, today, all the podcasts on the Waterloo Presents Network has been released. You could follow and listen to all the podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. That aside, now that we got that out of the way, Bobby, let everyone know where they can find you online.
The best way you can go, my website is Collective, and it's spelled KLCTVE. Just remember, I can only afford one vowel. That's the best way to remember the spelling. But then Instagram is really where I do post most of my work, and that's at Collective, spelled the same way, Fusion. So KLCTVE Fusion.
Nice.
And or just search my name, Bobby Dixon. I'm sure it'll probably, I don't know. There's probably a million Bobby Dixons, but just look for the one.
No, there's only one Bobby Dixon,
That's right.
dude.
That's right.
There's only one. Only one you need to know, folks.
Yeah,
Bobby.
forget the mullet one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you have photos of yourself from that time period?
I do, and I'm probably wearing hats, so you can't see that. Oh no, you can't see like my hair, like it was ducktailing, so you can see like the sides were long too. I'll dig them up.
Dude, I'm telling you, I was literally tripping when I saw him in my rearview mirror. Like, I still have not gotten over that. It's so crazy. All right. Bobby Dixon, thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate you being on the Sound of First podcast.
Thank you so much.